Okay, y'all, I wanted to come back on because there's some things I wanted to build with y'all about more. Peace, IBU. Yo, IBU. I don't know if you had a laptop right now, but I could send you a link and you can come in live with me. You come sit with me. Okay, you got to put that back though. You got to put the wolf back. You can, but not the wolf. All right. Yeah, take Elmo. You got to take Elmo. Put Elmo back. It's not in that. Nah, ain't no room for Elmo over here. Go put Elmo back. Okay. Put that back. Put it back. And you just come over here. I just want you. I don't want those toys over here. I don't want the toys. I don't want the toys. Come on. You can come over here. Okay. All right. I don't know where you put it at. Oh. Oh. So check this out, y'all. Am I loud and clear? So earlier this week, I published an article and I put the link in the chat. The article is called "How Do We Make Racist Children?" And I encourage all of you to go and check out that link because I share some insights about indoctrination that a lot of times people don't take into consideration. My old dad, when he would have to come to school for, usually not for me, but for our siblings, and talk to the principal or one of the faculty, he would always wear a shirt that says, "No child is born a racist." And like I mentioned to y'all before, my parents were part of the Panthers. So they were very social and culturally conscious. So he would wear that shirt as a symbol, as a sign, to communicate to the faculty, to the administration that, yo, I know where certain things is coming from. You know what I mean? So the article that I put in the chat now I was inspired to share this, right? I was just listening to some music and stuff, but I wanted to just go in and share some of this about the article with y'all. Sometimes when I write articles, I may do a follow-up video to just go over some of the yes, your IBU. In the chat, I just put the link. If you click on that joint, if you click on that link in the chat, I could bring you in live. You or anybody. So yeah, I encourage y'all to make sure y'all take a moment and check out that article. Check out the article. I'm not familiar with the 5150 show. That if you're connected to the producers or something like that, you can you connect me. I put my email in the chat. Yo, so when you check out that article, when you check out the article, I approached assessing racism from the perspective of an early childhood educator, because that's what my background is. And one of the things that I talked about in that article is, yo, I'm about to be on some shit right now. Peep this. The queen right here. How old are you? She's 2. She's wisdom. When a child is born, and even before a child is born, when they're within a woman's womb, their brain architecture is being constructed. Which means you're setting the cognitive premise of a being, the foundation of a human being. And that's one reason why nursing is important, because the nutrients that are in a mother's milk is designed for cognitive or brain architectural construction, because that is the primary aspect of a human being that develops. So her milk is made for that purpose. That's different than cow milk or other type of milk that is designed for a creature that must be able to stand moments after it's born. Think about that. If you've ever watched animal programs and you see a wildebeest being born, or water buffalo, or other different type of animals or creatures that structurally are large, that live in environments where they're not the apex predator, where their survival relies upon their ability to avoid apex predators, aka lions, leopards. When you look at creatures like that, water buffalo, wildebeest, other different large structured animals, the milk of their mother is designed for them to be able to stand moments after they're born. And you'll see it. When you see some of these animals being born, they're struggling to be able to stand. The milk that they are fed from their mother builds bone structure. That's different than the type of milk that we get from our mothers. It's an entirely different type of milk. The milk that we get from our mothers is designed for brain architecture construction. So when babies are born, they don't stand moments after they're born, because a primary aspect of their development is cognitive. It's brain architecture. So from birth to 6 years old, that is considered the formative years. Formative. Form, when the brain is actually being constructed and formed. So by the time they turn 6 years old, their brain is 95% constructed, but they still have different phases that they go through in order to develop the other aspects of the brain, particularly the executive brain function. You don't fully develop the executive brain function until you're in your early 20s. Executive brain function. Your IBU, your camera's upside down, G. I can see you. Okay, I can see you.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, what's the science, Lord?
I can see you, God. How you?
Maintaining, Lord. You know what I mean? Taking this shit one day at a time.
Good, good, good. It's good to see you, G.
No doubt. You already know feeling is mutual, God. Peace, Earth.
Look,
Peace.
she wide awake now.
She hanging in there.
Yeah, yeah, G. So how's the family and stuff?
Everybody good, G. Whole cipher peace, God. You know what I mean? We not really affected in these days and times. You know what I'm saying? Cause we on our own square anyway, so we
Uh-huh.
already been social distancing. Like it's actually good now, cause now we got people living how we was living. Like, you know what I mean? Pay attention, man. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention. You dig? So yeah, man,
Yeah.
everything peace, man. We still looking to motivate up out of here, man. Cause this shit, man, Las Vegas is it's different. It's different
Mm,
right now. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like this really took a economical hit. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like it's bad. You gotta think like you got a whole strip where it's $1 billion casinos is not being used. You know what I mean?
mm,
Not to the capacity how they were being used. You did. You got stuff like the convention center that they just did a 1.4 billion dollar project on renovating the convention center, like the west wing and the east wing. They bought like a whole lot. They just did a 1.4 billion dollar renovation on the convention center. And mind you, their first big show was supposed to be January of last year. Like all the big shows happen around this time. So they haven't had any shows since last year, March. And mind you, like I said, from October to maybe like the end of this month is when all the big shows happen. And they haven't had no shows. We talking about the shows that's expected for hundreds of thousands of people to come. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's been dead. It's quiet for that.
Word.
They,
Yo, what about like the cannabis industry out there? How was
oh, you
that?
already know that's booming. That's booming. You already know that's booming. That's probably the only thing keeping this thing afloat. Word is born. Word is born. Cause you
Mm.
know Vegas got it's I think it's called Planet 31. It's the biggest dispensary like in America. It's like a big ass warehouse. It's a dispensary. That shit is like a museum.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that's when we talking about that's just one. So that's really the only thing probably keeping this thing afloat because there's no shows. All those residential, all that residential shit people had cracking off. There's no shows. It's all that is quiet. It's none of that.
Mm.
You know, people just starting to get comfortable and going to the casinos, and that's like the locals. You know, this is a tourist town. So if tourism ain't booming, they losing for real, for
Mm.
real. So yeah, we motivating up out here, man. Like it was already, we already was contemplating that, but now it's like, yeah, it's time to get out of here because this shit is about to get crazy. They got
Mm.
Elon Musk out here building tunnels and shit. Like,
You would you striving to go back to Compton?
hell no. What? Well, I'm not trying to see no parts of Linwood. If that don't even, it don't even look the same anyway. I wouldn't recognize it if I went back.
Yeah, I see they gentrifying it out there and stuff, and they got
Man, gentrification is an understatement. That shit is like little Jalisco right now, man.
uh,
What? Man. Matter of fact, me and the Queen, we went like last year, right before we was out there for that whole Griselda concert when Griselda was at the Nouveau or Nova, whatever it is in LA. We was out there for that concert. So we was out there in LA right before shit just got shut down. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad we went to that concert. Cause it's dead out here. And like when we was out there, like I said, we left, and as soon as we got back to Vegas, it was like coronavirus. It was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? It was a wrap. And but when we was out there, I said all that to say, like when we was out there, I was like, yo, what happened to Linwood? Like that shit crazy. Like nothing against the Mexicans because I love them. I grew up with them. They have really taken that shit over.
mm.
It was like, you know, like back in the 60s and they had like the white flight and all that shit. And then original people moved in.
Hmm.
It was like somewhere along the line, the original, like, we started moving out and the Mexicans started moving in by the
Mm.
droves. And we saw it growing up because we would see like it'd be a one house, but it'd be like 20 people living in this house.
Mm.
Everybody that's of working age is working. Everybody is working, so the next person can get a house and the next 20 can live in there. And that person, like, you know what I mean? So we
Mm.
saw it growing up. Now though, man, it's crazy.
Mm. Yo, so you what other places that you considering moving to?
Texas is on the table. Georgia is like the final destination, but it's a program that the Queen want to get into in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Her job is like all in for it. You know what I'm saying? So we're
What
gonna
part
go
of
out there.
Texas?
So yeah, we're gonna go out there. Oh, San Antonio. San
Okay.
Antonio got dates. I got dates. Got San Antonio. I got dates. Yeah. So yeah, San Antonio. You know, I lived in Dallas for like 4.5 years,
Hmm.
but that was so long ago. Like it ain't no sense in moving there. Like I'm gonna recognize what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And the place where I was at in Dallas, I'm not trying to go back. I was at Oak Cliff, and that's
Mm.
I might as well go to Watts or some shit. Like,
Oh wow.
Oak Cliff is the hood.
Huh. Yeah, I was there
Yeah,
briefly. I was
Oak
there
Cliff,
briefly.
South
But
Dallas, fool. South Dallas, fool. They'll hug you, fool. They'll hug you, fool. You whole ass laws, will hug you, fool. Baby, because you know I'm from Cali, so I'm from home of fuck the police and Tupac, and you know what I'm saying. So I don't care about. We don't have no respect for police, but out there it's like you don't talk to them laws like that, fool. Like they shook. Like, and mind you, this is like 98, 99, early 2000s when I was out there, and they was shook of police when I was out there.
mm,
Like, say, J Mo, fool, you can't be talking to them laws like that, fool. They'll hug you, fool. You
yeah,
can,
yo, it's like that in certain parts of now. Why too? They don't give a fuck about the police.
that's how we grew
The
up. You
police
know what I'm
don't go
saying?
there.
And like where we come from, if they gonna do something to you, they gonna do something to you regardless. So if they gonna plan dope on you, they gonna plan dope on you. So you might as well not go out like a sucker. You might as well get something out of it. You did?
Yeah,
Word.
yeah, that's wild, G. Hold on. Self I build. He had a question on here. He said, what are the necessary things you would say are needed for a child's brain during those formative years?
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
so, so self I born. Um, if you knowledge 120, then you know in the wisdom degree when it talks about Yakub being 6 years old playing with two pieces of steel, and
Mm.
how at that point in his development he recognized his determined idea,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
And like I mentioned, in those formative years, you're dealing with the formulation of determined ideas. So, yeah. So exposure is important. You know
Mm.
what you're exposing your children to at at that stage in their growth and development, because it's literally becoming a part of their brain architecture.
Mm.
You know, it creates an indelible imprint in their consciousness. You know,
Mm.
so let me give you an example. She's only wisdom years old. She's 2. So one of the things that I do is at this age, I'm helping build her vocabulary. So I'm exposing her to different words. I don't talk to her like no baby.
Better
Google
not.
Wi-Fi and shit like that. No. You know, you see she's sitting here right now. She may not be aware, she may not be conscious, but she's in the environment, and everything that we are communicating right now is a part of constructing her brain architecture because she's being exposed to it. You know what I mean? So when she's in awake state, I expose her to different words like wisdom, knowledge, culture, you know, our language, and then also other different words, intuition,
Mm.
yoga, just various different words. And I impress that upon her mind. So, for example, we're having a conversation, and I recorded this earlier actually. We were doing a live. Matter of fact, we were doing a live yesterday. I was building with the guy, Star Mel, and he was building and he was talking and mentioned some of the mathematics. She was sitting there with me, and whenever he would mention one of the mathematics, she would repeat it
Mm.
because she automatically was aware of what he said. So the purpose of this is you give them the words or you create the language, and as they navigate the world, whenever they hear those key words or those buzzwords, they're going to automatically start to get an understanding because this is how it works. You give them the knowledge. Wisdom is the way. Wisdom is the navigation or the experience. When you give them the knowledge, they're going to have their own experiences. And when they come in contact with those words that you impressed upon their mind, now they're going to start getting an understanding because they're going to learn it in context. So let me go back. She knows what knowledge is because I constantly impress that upon her mind. Some of the other mathematics. If she's just out somewhere or she sees somebody and they're having a conversation and they use the word knowledge or some of the other mathematics, she's automatically going to pay attention
Mm-hmm.
to that conversation and how that word is used in the context of that situation, which automatically puts her in a position to start getting understanding. So, in those formative years, it's important to introduce children to words, having conversations with them, especially if those words are repetitive, because you're not only building their vocabulary, but you're constructing their brain architecture. Because now, those words that they have access to, they're also going to be able to use them to articulate and to communicate and engage others within this world. So, it's like when a child gets 4 or 5 years old, they get to kindergarten, and that's exactly what it is. It's a garden. That's when you start planting certain type of ideas. That's when they get on their academic trajectory, but you have to really start that shit by doing it in the home, you know? So yeah, so that's just some of the examples, that parents and guardians can take in terms of helping build the architecture of our children. My daughters, my eldest daughters, they're the exact same way. I used to do the exact same thing with them when they were this age. And it's like it's no it's not surprising that one is a chemist and the other is a forensic psychologist and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Factamundo.
you know?
Word.
And 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 like the way that they charted their destiny and their sense of self-esteem and confidence is like we help set them on their life trajectory, you know? And we have to make sure that we consistently expose them to things that we want them to learn and that we want them to be about. A lot of times parents or guardians give their power away in that capacity. They just give their power away and just leave the drive into somebody else or just leave that responsibility to somebody else, whether it's people that's creating content online or people that's creating television shows or teachers or whatever. A
Yeah.
lot of times parents and guardians don't take primary responsibility for saying, yo, I am striving to help develop this human being so that they can be a critically thinking, caring adult in this society as they get older. But you can't give that power away. And these moments in their life is like the most critical, you know?
There you go. I was a latchkey kid, so I bear witness to that, man.
Mm,
You're a latchkey kid, you
mm,
be exposed to all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because
mm-hmm,
before you get to be a latchkey kid, it's a process. You know what I'm saying? Like I went from being dropped off at school to have to stay at like a daycare because I went to private school. So my old earth would drop me off early when she go to work. So now I have to be at school like maybe like an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes before school even start. And then when school let out, I have to be at school like an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours till she get off. You know what I'm saying? That was the first step. Then
mm,
after that, I used to get dropped off at this colored lady house. This colored woman and her family. And she, I don't know what type of gig she had going, but she was like basically babysitting all these original kids who parents basically worked in the area, but they lived in the hood and they had nothing to do with their kids, so they would drop them off at her house. I don't know how my old earth met this lady or nothing, but I ended up there. So then my old earth would drop me off at her house. I have to wait at her house. Well, she got 3 kids, mind you, herself. And not to mention the other 2 or 3 cats that she babysitting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got all these different personalities, upbringings, and I'm just like I'm the only child, man. I'm used to being in my own room, doing my own thing, and I got all these adopted brothers and sisters every day of the week. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, what is going on? But it's like even before that, like my old earth, she was a single mother, so I had like babysitters. Like my great grandmother babysat me for the longest. Like when I was like a baby. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like I always was just getting like passed around and shit.
What's some
So in
what's some
that,
things you
I
learned
never
from
really
her?
had any real structure. I never had any real structure. It was just like I was just pulling shit. I was just preserving the best part for myself, basically. I didn't have
Mm,
anybody to come actually give me anything. You know what I'm saying? I had
mm,
to just like pick up shit and learn things the hard way.
mm. What would you say you learned from? You said your great aunt was that who's babysitting you?
When? No, my great grandmother.
Your
My
great grandmother.
grandmother's my grandmother's old earth.
What's something you learned from her?
um that saying dang is just like saying damn, or saying funk is just might as well say fuck. If you say shoot, you might as well say shit. You know what I'm saying? Big Mama didn't play no games. Okay, Gertrude Voss was real deal. She didn't play no games. Yeah, she walked that fine line. You did. She one of them old Christians. You know what I'm saying? So she
Yeah.
ain't played no games. So that was one thing I learned from her. And compassion.
Mm,
Compassion. Because I grew up like my second and third cousins, they moms was dope heads and shit. Their parents was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And she knew I didn't have that type of lifestyle. So it was like, yo, you feel compassion for these people that live like these kids that's growing up like this. You should have some compassion for them, cause they ain't got nobody to care for them. You know what I'm saying? They mom and dad in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like you might miss your dad, but they ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? Like at least your mama and your grandmother still like take care of you and shit, provide for you. Like have some compassion for people that don't have shit. You know what I mean?
mm,
Everybody that don't have shit is not ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like just
yeah.
because you don't have shit don't mean you ain't shit.
Mm,
So it was like be compassionate towards people in their situations. Almost like how like Justice says or Earth told him like don't ever look up and down somebody's station. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Like don't ever put somebody in a certain category just because of what their situation is. Because everybody's situation, that effect wasn't caused the same way. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Damn. That's peace. Like I think some of the youth that I'm seeing today, Big Mama's not around as much as she was in our generation and
It's not
generation
even the
before.
same, God. Big
Mm-hmm.
Mama is a grandmother. My Big Mama was my great grandmother.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Big Mama nowadays is the grandmama.
mm-hmm.
My Big Mama was my great grandma's my grandmother's mother. You know what I mean? That shit was different anyway. Like when I grew up and I say my Big Mama, they automatically thought I was talking about my grandmother. Like, nah,
Mm,
my great grandmother. Like your great grandmother. The
yeah.
fuck? And she
Yeah.
lived to be like 93, 94.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was close with my great grandmother the exact same way.
See?
Yep.
That's that that's that unknown generation. That's that generation X shit. You know what I mean? They don't know about that.
Yeah. She was a sharecropper too. She was from the South.
Hmm.
She moved up north and I learned a lot from her too, you know, about integrity.
Hmm.
And she did not like white people at all. She ain't mess with no white people, period.
Smart lady.
She did not at all. Oh my God. And
She seen
this,
something.
yeah, and the stories that she would tell me about like the hardships and the things that she went through in the South.
Hmm.
Mm, mm,
Hmm.
man, you can see why a lot of our elders have the mindset that they do about America, you know? And I think that's what a lot of some of the younger generation don't understand when they start learning about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and things that were going on in the 1930s and how people felt about how our people in particular felt about America.
Hmm.
And it was clear who was for us and who was against us.
Hmm.
You know, it's like generations later, you got a lot of the younger people today that just really don't understand just how difficult it was and the type of situations that we had to actually survive and live in. You know, I had a chance to meet a brother that his name is Dr. Terrence Roberts,
Hmm.
and he was one of the Little Rock Nine. So Little Rock, Arkansas was one of the first high schools that integrated.
Hmm.
So when you look at images, if you were to go on Google and look up Little Rock Nine, you would see nine black students who were the first ones that volunteered to integrate Little Rock High School back in that time when integration first hit. And he was one of those students.
What?
And I had a chance, he came in to the city and I had a chance to sit down to lunch with him. So I'm sitting there and I'm asking him questions about his experience during that time. And one of the things that he was telling me is some of the girls that also integrated in the high school at that time,
Hmm.
he said that when they would go to the bathroom, white girls would come into the bathroom and follow them in there. This is just like them going to school to get an education and they had to deal with this kind of stuff. When they would go to the bathroom, he said that they would be sitting in the stall and white girls would come in there and take toilet paper rolls, light them on fire, and be throwing them over the top of the stalls while they're in there just trying to use the bathroom. They were doing stuff like that.
See, that's what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying,
saying?
man. Like they don't understand how lucky the compassionate of God. They don't know how lucky they are. That flows so deep. Cause like just think about it. Like you said, to have that discipline and like, come on, G. That's a total violation. And you mind you, you living at a time where you can't react. You better rise above six. It could be your life.
Now peep this, G. He said that in school, the policy was you as a black person, you could not accuse another student of anything unless you had a white student who was a witness.
Say word.
So you can't even do shit about it unless you had a white person that was willing to vouch for you that this is what happened. You couldn't
That's
even say shit.
bugged out.
You know what I mean? He was also saying that the neighborhood that they lived in, he said grown white men, just on a regular day, would drive through their neighborhood with rocks in their car and would be throwing rocks out the window at children. And he said, if you did not know how to run at that time, you would be risking your life. You had to know how to run. You had to. that was something you had to know how to do, or you could literally lose your life living in an environment like that.
Son,
And this
that's
dude lived
crazy,
through that
son.
shit and survived it. He's a doctor now, and his name is Dr. Terrence Roberts. If you can go on YouTube, he has like some interviews and you can see like some content of him on there.
Mm-hmm.
He he is one of the sharpest people that I've ever met in my life.
Mm.
Sharp.
Mm.
I mean, he does not waste words. He weighs every single word that he uses. He's one of the most calculated
Mm.
people that I've ever met before in my life. But I could tell that his life experience helped shape and mold him into what he was.
That's what I was just about to say, God. Like you can't survive shit like that. Like that's traumatic. That's a traumatic experience. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for you to even survive it is one thing, but then like to come out of it and be able to articulate what you survived. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's traumatic. Like that break people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for you to survive it is one thing, and then for you to come out and be able to like use that as your fuel to make knowledge born. That's amazing.
Yeah, and not hate people.
And that's why I said that take discipline. You gotta rise above. Imagine being a parent and your child is come home bleeding, sweating profusely, like panting, like can't breathe almost because they so tired. And you like, what's wrong? And they like, these people's throwing rocks at us. These white people's throwing rocks at us.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in those times, as a parent, you kind of just gotta eat that.
Yeah. And he said that when they integrated the schools in Little Rock, Arkansas, the way that they did it is at the schools that they were at, they had their black schools that they attended. They had like a meeting where in the auditorium they explained about integration and they asked students did they want to volunteer. They didn't
Mm,
go to parents and asked parents about
mm,
it. They went directly to the schools and expressed it to them, and they
mm,
asked students did they want to volunteer. So he said that there were a lot of students that volunteered initially, and then when they went home and talked to their parents about it, their parents
mm.
didn't allow them to do it, and that's the reason why they're called the Little Rock Nine, because ultimately it was only 9 students that went through with it, even though it was many other students that initially volunteered to integrate the schools. Their parents and guardians didn't want them to put themselves in that kind of situation.
That mathematics is just ill in itself. Born students,
Yeah,
like you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's ill, son. That's ill.
yeah.
So this dude, like, he was one of them. He experienced this.
Yo, this dude, if you look at the pictures of the Little Rock Nine, you'll see him as a teenager.
I just looked it up. I seen one of these pictures is like an infamous picture of them like walking with their books and all that. I
Yeah.
seen that picture before.
Going to school, could
I
you
didn't
imagine
know
that shit?
necessarily that's what that was from though.
Going to school and people, adults, not just
Yeah,
students,
faculty. I'm about to say
adults,
faculty. Yeah,
spitting on you, not wanting to teach you and shit like that. And you have to learn in that kind of environment and go there every single day.
that's what I'm saying, God. Like that's the compassion of Allah. What other people would do? What other people could do that?
Yeah.
What other
And,
people could do that?
And like I said, if something happened to you in the school, you can't even tell administration. You have to have a white person in school that's willing to
Vouch
vouch for
for
you
you.
and say, yes, this is what happened. And if nobody's willing to stand up and say, yeah, I saw it and this is what happened, then whatever you said doesn't even, you can be bloody and still not be able to get any kind of,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Imagine.
that's the environment. But so can y'all change the subject? I want to watch this live, but what y'all talking about is boring. What? Oh, okay. So Richard Martin, I don't know where you from, but when you get a chance, look up Dr. Terrence Roberts. Dr. Terrence Roberts. He was one of the Little Rock Nine.
This my
So
thing. I'm like, how you want to watch the live? Just change the live. You want us to change what we talking about? Like, what? Go change your live. Change, like, what do you mean change what we talking about? Because you came on. People,
yeah.
man.
So yeah, so this he was, and I would definitely say like he's he's one of the most impressionable people that I've met in my entire life.
He looked like he with the business. I'm looking at him where he looked like he with the business. He look like he's no
Yeah,
joke.
yeah, and but he's so sharp in how he engages people. You know, like you would think that going through that, you would think going through those kind of experiences and living through that shit, that you would be straight militant.
Hmm. Almost like rebellious, almost.
Yeah, like you
You
would
know what I
think
mean?
that it like angry.
On
You
the
know?
other side of that coin, though, you might preserve yourself because you know how your words could be used against you. You know what I mean? Like he live in a time where you gotta have a white person vouch for what you say. You probably gonna watch what you say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
probably
Mm-hmm.
gonna make sure that you know like what you saying is gonna be held accountable. Like, you know, some people just talk just to talk. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
just use words because they there. He came up in a time where if you didn't use your words correctly, you might not get a white person to vouch for you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to use your words like they need to be needed. They need to be heard. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that duality because I know what side I know the coin I would be on. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, like, and that's from the outside looking in. Because of course, like you experiencing something like that, you can't just speak on that third party. Like that's different, son. Like that's why I was telling the queen the other day, like, yo, people just casually glaze over that the Constitution say that the black person is 3/5 of a man. It's like, damn, 3/5 though? Can't be 4/5? 3/5? Like, damn, son. Like, I'm not even a human being right now, really. Like, I'm not even a human.
Yeah.
Since 1776.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? People don't realize how powerful language is, you know, and how by dehumanizing you like that, a person can do anything they want with you because you're not a human being. You don't even have feelings. You're not,
You don't have a soul.
yes.
You soulless. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You like an inanimate object and shit.
Yep.
You
Yep.
expendable.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You expendable. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, that's like, this is the foundation of this, God. Like, This is the foundation of this. So we living in right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you said, people don't take heed to what words mean. They take language on face value. They take conversation on face value. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Every day. They take conversation on face value. It's like, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like what can you do except do what you know is right and exact and let them be on their bullshit.
Get out the way, right?
Stay out the way, man. Like let them be on their bullshit. Cause it took me a couple times to bump my head before I realized, oh, okay, I probably shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? I probably shouldn't let my emotions get the best of me. I probably, you know what I mean? Even though I'm right in saying this, I should just say it right now. You know what I mean? Take a couple times. You know what I'm saying? And this is up to that person if they actually want to take heed to that lesson. You know what I mean? Some people like taking L's. Some people is born losers. Like it is what it is. That's
how do you know how you know when a person's a born loser?
man when they are convinced that nothing can go right for them no matter what they do.
Mm.
Like I tried this shit, but man, such and such, woo woo. Like, man, then so I went and did such and such, told me woo woo, that didn't work out. It was like, what you abracadabra? What you want? Clap on, clap off? Like, what do you gotta stop making this decision. This is the decision. It's not what started out, it's the decision you made. Like, you gotta fine tune that. Then you can get, you know what I mean? Like, born losers, they always find something the wrong in somebody else, what somebody else is doing. They find a negativity in that. They are attracted to negativity.
Mm.
Like real shit. They entertained by negativity. You know what I'm saying? They don't see nothing wrong with it. It's like people that enjoy watching like street fights and shit. Like neither one of these cats is getting paid. You want to sit up here and watch them beat each other to death. Like, nobody's getting nothing out of this. You know what I'm saying? They're not
Mm-hmm.
making a career out of this. You know what I mean? You be in school back in the days you were in school. People get in a crowd. Oh. So walk by like, what are they doing? He's wasting time and energy at this point. Word. Born losers, man. Like, and no bullshit. It's almost like how you were saying, like it's an indoctrination. Like I say, born loser, like, but really it's because you was in the womb of a loser. So it was like you didn't even have no choice.
Oh wow.
You was in the womb of a loser. So then when you was born, you're a born loser because once you come out the womb of that loser, then you just gonna be raised to be a loser. Like
Mm. So what you mean they were in the womb of a loser?
a womb of somebody that was not appreciating what life is really about. You
Mm.
dig? Somebody when they was in that womb, they just totally disregarded the life that was being developed inside of them. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like willingly, like no fucks given, as they say.
Yeah.
You dig? Yeah, that's being in the womb of a loser. So it's almost like I said, it's almost like indoctrination. It's almost damn near hereditary almost.
Mm. Is there any way to change that if you born that way?
Absolutely. Absolutely. At the same time, that really depends on that person. Like the opportunity is always there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's up to that person to take that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we're not just back in 1555 no more, man. A lot of shit has changed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we got options to, change our life, change our situation. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yo.
Change our way of thinking.
It makes me think like you got some people that have low self-esteem, and at least there's something there that you can work with. It's just pretty low, but then you have other people that got straight vacant esteem. It ain't nothing there.
They think they ain't shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a it takes a lot for a person to go from that place to really elevate their condition and change their quality of life. You know,
Absolutely.
it
And
takes
at
a lot.
that point, it's almost like it's got to be a group effort. That's not even like a one man job.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
that whole village to raise a child type. Like, you need some reinforcements. You know what I mean? Because the negative got reinforcements. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
They got a whole household telling them they ain't shit.
yeah,
They got a whole household of examples of people that ain't shit and that's comfortable with it. Like this is
yeah,
their environment. Like they growing up around people that ain't shit, and everybody's cool with it. And then therefore you ain't shit. You ain't gonna be shit. So the positive got to be just that much more impactful. Where it's got to be a group effort. You know what I'm saying? To get across to that person, because that person, like you said, that person deep. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like it's like almost like talking somebody off a ledge and shit. You know what I
mm,
mean?
yeah,
That person mind is pretty much made up and shit at that point.
yeah, yeah. And I think too that's why it's important to strive to reach people as young as possible
Or
because at that stage you can see those type of elements in their environment, but you still have an opportunity to reach them as opposed to them being indoctrinated in an environment like that for many years, and then after those years they come in contact with someone that's telling them something different than what they've seen and experienced.
because at
You know?
that point, those people gonna be more impressionable because they don't know nothing else. So those people that's getting that negative shit, they gonna gravitate towards that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Plus, too, when they're young, they're closer to their intuition and they have more of a confidence and trust in their experience
Hmm.
with things that they come in contact with as opposed to being indoctrinated and socialized. The older they get, the more they get indoctrinated and socialized. And sometimes that deafens their intuition and their connectedness to
Hmm.
just things that they naturally would look at as, yo, that's my first mind, or I should have just did what, I thought about the first time. They're
Indeed.
closer to that when they're younger, and it makes it easier to expose them to other different things when they're at that stage because they have
Hmm.
more of a trust in their natural intuition.
Hmm.
They start getting older, and now they start getting inundated with the doubt and you know not trusting their first mind and their intuition and stuff anymore. you know
So that like that going in line with like what you said, like it's the positivity that you give them when they're younger, so it won't be that foreign. Like you gotta encourage they positive thoughts almost. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like you
yeah,
gotta encourage them like to make the right decision, so when they get a little older, it won't be as foreign to them. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
It's like a little baby will eat shit if you tell them that it's good. Babies don't know shit is shit. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? a little baby will eat feces if it's not taught to them like, oh, you made it stinky, oh, boo boo. You know what I mean? If you don't do that, but baby shit, you be like, oh, a baby is going to eat shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta really take time to make sure that what they are receiving is gonna be applicable later on in life. It's gonna be worth something. You know what I mean? Like my little herb, she knowledge wisdom, God. We was just joking around the other day, like, let's see who she recognized. We just pulling up pictures, like, who is this? Who is this? She don't know who Beyonce is. She don't know who Nicki Minaj is. She don't know who Jay-Z is. Like, she might know if she hear a song, she might recognize that voice because she heard her say, like, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like seeing a picture, she don't know these people. Like, she knew who Drake was. She knew who Drake was.
Mm-hmm.
But she don't know these people. Like, the average 12-year-old will tell you about who somebody is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now cypher, God. Not in my cypher. Not in this universe. I'm the celebrity in this motherfucker right here. You dig? There ain't nobody more famous than me in here, Jack. You dig? I'm the celebrity. Like, but if you think about it, like, that's what these little kids is raised. Like, it's almost like, I want to say when the internet came, that really changed everything because it almost gave everybody access to be a star. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's a star.
Yeah.
And it's like, that almost became like what life is about. Like, life is about being fucking famous now. Like,
Yeah.
little kids don't even go outside and play. They want to get on live and take selfies and TikTok and shit. Like, these little kids want to be famous. Like, when we was growing up, kids didn't want to be famous. Like, we heard about the child star horror stories and shit. We was like, hey, want to go outside and play and have a childhood. Not trying to be memorizing lines and shit, dealing with these adults all day. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nowadays, these kids want to be famous, Jack.
Yeah, yo, it's crazy. Like some of my sixth graders, like you ask them what they want to be when they get older, they say, I want to be a YouTuber or I want to be a professional gamer. And the reality of it is there are people who are actually doing that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's opening up. That's the crazy part. It's opening up. Like, it's not like it's too many of these people. Like, you got a week. No, these kids, that's one thing she do. She do the whole Roblox where they be coding and shit, making up their own rooms. I'm like, yo, what happened to playing Snake? What happened to, you know what I'm saying? These kids
Yeah.
is they coding now. Like,
Yeah.
when the computers first came out, we was excited to play Snake and Donkey Kong, just using the arrows. That's it. Had the green letters with the black screen with the green letters. Everything was analog. Like, we didn't know nothing about no computers. This little girl be making rooms. She be creating characters. I be like, you got a gun now? Like, where you
Yeah.
get a gun from? You
She be
just
getting
type some
those
shit, now you
pets.
got a gun.
She be getting those pets and stuff like that.
All that shit, G. And now, she getting older, so she gotta do chores and shit to get her Robux. You're not just balling out with the Robux now. You gonna start spending these shits wisely. Ain't no more you just empty the whole wallet. Like, we just got you 2,000 Robux and they gone. You just sat down. Cause she already knew what she wanted to buy when she didn't have them. So, like, when soon as she got that money, it was spent. It was spent.
Yeah.
Now you gotta vacuum, you gotta fold clothes and shit. Like, yeah, we gonna make Roblox not fun.
That's funny.
Word, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta really like you said, God, it from when they obey them early stage, them early ages, God, them early degrees, God. You gotta catch them then, because that's when they really most attentive anyway. That's when
Uh-huh.
they really gonna listen to you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Once they learn how to talk and they know words, they don't want to listen to you no more. Like I already know words. I listen to you to learn words. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get them in them early ages, G.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. Because, like you said, hatred, that racism, no baby comes out the womb saying nigger. You know what I'm saying? No. Come on, man. That shit is taught. Like, you can have all the blue blood you want. No baby is coming out just on some they niggers type shit. That don't happen, man.
Mm-hmm. Sure
That's
did.
like my little earth. I tell her, look, you gonna see some people that don't look like you. You don't have to point it out. You don't have to say anything. Just know that if they look different, they probably act different. So you probably don't want to really be around them like that. You know what I mean? Cause she'll just come out and just say like, "Damn, why you so pale? Why you like a ghost?" Yo, she don't have no filter, G.
That's funny.
No filter.
That's funny. My eldest too was like that. Well, my eldest, Asia, she was like that. But she's
You,
gonna be like that too.
I about to say you got your hands full with that one right there, Jack.
Yeah,
I
she's
already
fire.
know. I already know. And
She
I know just like the other two little Earths, I'd seen them. They wasn't really. No, I didn't see that to them. They wasn't like they was a little bit more calm. She's TTG. She's ready to go. What's cracking?
yeah, yeah. My eldest, she's a lot like her in terms of her
Hmm.
temperament.
Hmm.
Like my eldest, if she looks in a room and there's a door there and you say you are not allowed to go through that door, you can't go through that door, she will cut a door in the wall somewhere and make her own damn door and walk out of that motherfucker.
To see what's on the other side, no doubt.
Yeah. That's how she is. She's gonna make her own door. She ain't gonna accept what you saying.
Yo, you exposing her to these spiders and these animals, God. She's gonna be on. She's gonna be different. She gonna be.
Yeah.
I see her the way she interacting with these animals, God. That's not. That's not average children interaction. Like this little girl has no fear. This little girl has no fear, son.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not fucking with that. I'm not. No. The giant bird eating. First of all, since when do spiders eat birds? First of all, second of all, nah. And she be so calm with like, ooh, ooh,
Uh-huh.
that shit peas, God. She be killing me. That
Yeah.
shit peas.
Yeah. So it's either gonna go one or two ways. Either she's gonna continue to be comfortable like that, or she's gonna develop a phobia and be like, yo, I don't want nothing to do with no animals or no insects, nothing like that and shit. I had that shit around me when I was little.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
she, she gonna be
yeah.
she gonna be one or the other. But
Was
yeah,
you exposed to stuff like that when you was younger, God? Yeah.
yeah, yo, when I was like in second grade and the teacher asked me what I wanted to be when I got older, I told the teacher I wanted to be a zoologist.
That's that one in there. I want to be an animal scientist, Daddy. Animal scientist? What is that? That's some
Yeah,
new shit.
yeah,
I
yo,
want to study animals and like living stuff. Okay.
yo,
Yeah.
she would love it here.
Yo,
She
them
really,
two, I could already see them two interacting. Even though she like 10 years older, I could already see like, yeah, her encouraging it, like, yeah,
yeah,
cause she all about the whole nature and life and bugs. Like when she was, matter of fact, when she was about that degree, she was saying the alphabet, and she had a letter. She had an animal for every letter. That's how she would say her alphabet. She would give you an animal for every letter in the alphabet.
mm,
Yeah, she was in tune with animals like that. Like we
yeah,
had to like teach her using animals. Like you got to incorporate that type of stuff. You know what I mean? For them to learn, it's like that's what they already like. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
yeah, she would say her alphabet, and she would give you an animal for every letter, and not like your average like animals and shit. Like she wouldn't say like A is for ape. She would like A is for antelope. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or B is for a boa constrictor or like what?
yeah.
I thought B was for B.
Yo, maybe well soon I'm gonna have to call you on video or something, and I could show her like
Shit
some of
go
the insects and
crazy.
stuff that I
We
have.
already be showing her on IG, like, yo, look what
Yeah,
the guy got in his house. She be like, that's his pet. Like he got some real life zoo shit going on.
yeah,
And
yeah.
those birds be so active though. I don't know how you sound like you live in a rainforest or something. Like
Yeah.
how you resting and shit in there, G? Them birds be lit.
I know. You
You
just
don't
get
take
to the
no
point.
naps. It's no you don't take naps.
Nah,
I know you don't take
nah,
naps.
nah, nah. But yeah, so I was like her, and I'm still
Hmm.
like that. I was watching something yesterday about animals. Like I watch stuff. I say at least I would say at least 5 times a week. I'm doing some kind of research on animals and insects, watching
Hmm.
something and reading something about animals and insects, something nature related, at least
Hmm.
5 times a week, minimally. It's just I've always been interested in that. You know what I mean?
I didn't really get in tune like that until I became an adult. Like when I was a kid, I wasn't really. And mind you, I grew up with pets and shit, but like I wasn't like fascinated with animals like I am now and shit. You know what I mean? Like now I be watching like the Nat Geos and you know what I mean, the Netflix documentaries about animals, our planets and all that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That shit
yeah.
be fascinating because you see some shit on there, you be like, yo.
You know, here goes something fascinating to check out. Have you ever seen the the mating ritual of leopard slugs?
No, Cypher. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that no, that can't be. That's not the one where the thing crawl, swim up the anal cavity and reproduce. No, that's some different shit.
Nah. And you might have seen a leopard slug before, like in your yard or something like that. When you get a chance, look up leopard slugs mating rituals. It is it's something that's gonna blow your mind when you see it. You know what I mean?
What?
But just learning things about that in terms of just the various different aspects of life, man. It really teaches you to not only appreciate the life you have, but also how sharp we have always been as people. When you go back to like our classical civilizations and you look at our indigenous civilizations and societies, how we looked at nature or animals and insects, and we were able to recognize principles and values in life and incorporate that in our life.
Civilization.
Yeah, you know. that always fascinated me, you know, and it has a lot to do with my old dad too, because growing up, I mean, we would always sit down and watch nature programs, and
Mm.
so you know, it's like if I wasn't doing what I was doing right now, I would definitely be somebody like Sir David Attenborough,
Mm.
traveling around the world
Mm.
studying different animals, and that's one thing that I definitely want to do. I want to create my own nature program
Mm.
and narrate it, write it, narrate it, and that's, you know, that's something, shit, I might do it this year
And have like different habitats and shit, God.
and just go and travel and articulate it from my perspective. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
it's crazy because my nephew just came on, and my nephew is the same way, yo.
Hmm.
His name is Hassan, and he volunteers at an aquarium here
Dope.
in the city where we live at, and he's the same way with his interest in animals. He has the exact same type of mindset and attitude.
Yo, cause it's a whole nother world, son. It's like that's a whole nother world. The animal kingdom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yo, I used
even
to
with the
take.
plant kingdom, like plants might be a little bit more boring. Like the God said, animals is like animated plants and shit. But if you study plants, is crazy. Like they be on plants, be on some other shit. It's plants that communicate with each other. It's like different funguses and like mushrooms and shit that communicate and only grow when other certain ones is growing in another part of the country and shit. Like it's life. God, this is life, son.
Mm-hmm.
Life is ill, G. Life
Yeah.
is ill. When you look at it, like when you see everything around you, and it's like, yo, all of this shit got something to do with me. You know what I mean? The way that it interact with each other, the way it survive, like that's really what all this shit is here for anyway. It's for us to learn. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like we're the only ones on this planet that gotten so far from civilization and shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's people. Like everything else on the planet is functioning how it's been functioning. You know what I mean? Taking care of each other, reproducing. We ain't even talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just civilization, yo. And it's like, yo, people have gotten so far away from civilization, yo. Just from wanting to see somebody else do better for themselves. Like they call that dick riding. You dick eating. Like, cause I want somebody. Cause I'm proud of what somebody else is doing. G. Like, it's not even cool to give somebody a compliment anymore. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
not cool to support people. Like you can't even support somebody without what you getting out of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit crazy, yo. Like really on some doggy dog world, but it's like the animals don't even function like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Once the animal get full, it's done eating. You know what I'm saying? People get full, you gonna eat that? You full,
Yeah.
my nigga.
Yeah. If lions, like if lions have had their full and they ate and stuff, they ain't gonna mess with you.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. They done. I'm good.
You
You
know.
know what I'm saying?
But
People though,
mm,
like we got such thing called glutton. Like you gotta actually make it against God to not eat too much. Or else people would just eat themselves to death. Like you gotta actually make it against God Yo, there's a limit. You need to have a limit.
Mm.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so far from civilization, yo. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You got these knuckleheads. What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? What are
Like
you
you
gonna
said,
do? You know what I'm
like you
saying?
said, keep doing what you're doing and stay out of the way.
Trying to tell you, G. Other than that, like that's it. That's it. That's the scope of things. And once you do that, you got it made. You're not trying to do what everybody else doing. You're not easily led in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? Like we gotta really life needs to really be re-examined. Like, what is life really about, G? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is life about financial shit and all like is that do it take all that to live? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the time, like that's like a real broad stroke. But it's like people gotta at least start thinking like that, man. What's really important in life, yo? Like everybody in the world could like you. That don't mean anything. What that mean? That mean you got a bunch of people fooled because you're
Mm.
not even happy with yourself. And you got all these people looking at you like you the whole shebang. And you don't even like yourself.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy to be on here with you, guys. I seen you go
Me
live. I said, oh,
too.
gotta hit the calm in. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I'm getting ready to go lay her down now.
Yeah. No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah. But maybe sometime this week or something like that, I'll reach out to you. We do a video chat
Yeah.
and
Off the record,
I
off
can
the record. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah, I
and
got
I
some shit. We off the record. You know what I mean?
and I show Justice some of the
Yeah.
some of my animals over here.
Yo, I'm striving to get out there too, G, after it stop being cold. I ain't gonna even hold you. I'm not coming out there when it's cold. Already, that's a fact. I'm not. That shit is out. Not, no. I don't need to test the waters. I don't need, nah. That shit different. I'm not coming out there when it's cold. So when y'all get to y'all spring situation, yeah, you know what I mean? That,
That's funny as hell. Yeah, I gotta come out that way because it is mad cold out here. I think, yo, hold on. Let me see what it is. It's 17 degrees out here right now.
come on, man. That shit is enough. I wouldn't even know how to think in that shit, God. Like, I'd be so concentrating on keeping warm. I wouldn't even know how to think in that shit, man.
Yeah, yo,
Nah. I
I
come out
tell you,
there when it's warm, man. That's it. That's all, man.
what is it out there right now?
Man, that shit was like upper 60s today, man. It started getting a little chilly at night. Like chilly for us is like 46, 50s. That's chilly, son. That's chilly.
Man, that shit is like summer here right now.
Hey yo, when it snow out here, I don't go outside, man. It snowed out here last year. I wasn't nah, man. You serious? Stop playing. I'm in the house with that, son. I'm in the house with it.
Yo,
No way.
I remember one time it was so cold out here that if you were outside and you spit, by the time your spit hit the ground,
It
it would
freeze?
turn in yes, it would turn into ice. That's how cold it was here before.
So
And
I
we would
would
be
never
outside
go to
doing it just to
school. If I
see it.
was a kid, I would never go to school. I would have to emancipate myself with something as a kid. I would never go to school. Nigga, what? What? Nah, man. You got it. You got it from here, G. I can't do it. I'll be out there when it warm up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cause I'm trying to go to some of them little springs and shit you be going to and all that. Like, I'm not trying to be sliding in no snow and ice and shit. Like,
Yeah.
nah, man. I want
Yeah,
to see nature unfroze, thawed out.
yeah. So right now, the and willfully too, the Canadian border be open, and that's been a challenge
Mm.
pandemic, G, because it's been closed since last March, and I'm in Canada every week. You know what I mean? So I haven't been able to get over there like that. So I've
Wow.
had to change up my routine in that way. But
Wow.
definitely when you come out this way, we have to explore Canada.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
we gonna travel. You know how we do. We gonna travel.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
gonna get to it. Yeah,
yeah,
cause I already know that's some fascinating shit. I already know.
yeah.
And we hitting that museum. I need to hit that museum. That's first thing on the list. We hitting the underground. We hitting that off the rip. We hitting the underground. You know what I mean? That's yeah. I need that in my life for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, God. Good
Okay.
seeing you, G.
Okay, God, we'll build again soon.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute, God.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Yeah. So
yo,
tell the queens I said peace too.
you already know I will, man. I love you, G.
All right. Love you, God.
All right, peace.
Peace, Almighty.
I ain't know how to end this. I just hang up.